Hello, my name is Dr. Bektemis, and in today's video I want to talk about my journey throughout this course in subject called Teaching English to Young Learners. It was such a valuable experience to me, and I want to talk about not only lectures that we covered throughout this course, and also I want to talk about my demo lesson. So without further interruption, let's start. I went into my lectures. I want to talk about my mock lesson. To be honest, I was pretty nervous, even a little bit scared, even for non-graded assignment, because it was my first time teaching in front of a real audience. I haven't had a real teaching experience before yet. So yes, let's start. The main aspect I covered was reading. Beforehand, I want to talk about it wasn't quite perfect, but it wasn't disastrous either. It went down pretty smoothly, and it was all right, I guess. So yeah, the main aspect, like I said, was reading. Before I talk about my pros and cons on my teaching, I want to talk about how it went down. First, I start with TPR, an engaging song about animals. And after that, I wrote down on whiteboard what animals my students heard on whiteboard, like monkey, tiger, gorilla. And after that, I read them a story about some monkey and their friends. And the main aspect was in grammar, can and can't. I wanted to use can and can't with new vocabulary, but it went down like that. Like I didn't have enough time to teach them. So it was my first drawback. Time management. I couldn't manage my time properly. Second was I was a little bit hyperactive. I was too energetic, too movie, too groovy. And even in my feedback, my instructor said that I was like a little bit psychedelic. And the third one is what I was choosing the same students over and over again. So I think I can change that in my next assignment system lesson. So yeah, I also had some positive aspects, of course. I was, my lesson went down pretty energetic, atmospheric, lively atmosphere. So yeah, I guess it was one of my main aspects, because as I know, it was main to teach young children, and I need, as a teacher, I need to do to entertain them. So yeah, I guess I made that correct. So the next demo lesson, it will be graded. So I hope I will do my best. The next skills that I will cover will be listening and speaking, and with that feedback, with that drawbacks and positive outcomes that I had, I hope that I will engage more students in my demo lesson, and I will do my best. So yeah, wish me luck. We need to start with a question. Who are the young learners? They are children, of course. They start from age of 3 to 50, basically in adolescence. And we do not categorize them by age, but rather to developmental stages, or 4 Piaget's stages, as you can see on the screen. We divide them into 2 subgroups: younger learners and older learners. Younger learners are the most typical children from ages from 3 to 8. They are more active. We need to give them more attention, and so on and so on. And older learners, they can think through analytically, and they can evaluate their own language learning. And basically, they are from 8 to adolescence. Let's talk about also first language and second language acquisition. First language is, of course, our mother tongue. It's learned by imitating and watching our parents, others, and it's learned by naturally. And second language is mostly in English, and it's acquired by step, by learning, by processing, and a lot of stuff. Basically, when we learn more, it's deeper the language learning gets. like levels from beginner to native, upper intermediate, and so on and so on. So yeah, to acquire this different language, we use different methods of teaching. Of course, there is no best method to teach children, but there is always a capable, meaningful, helpful one to teach them. So basically, a silent way. Children discover the language through teachers, basically no talking, no speaking at all. And also TBLT, task-based language teaching. Is talk about children use language and to do some tasks, like basically projects, surveys, and something like that. Also, there is a TPR. It's more engageful, more appropriate for young learners, and basically in that method, young learners actively move and engage in the activities. Yes. So let's talk about the skills. Let's start with the listening. Listening, we can use technique called top-down and bottom-up. And we can use activities like songs, chants, and rhymes, Simon Says, CPR. And these activities can also be implemented into other skills showed in the picture. So speaking, we can use role play, storytelling to these skills. And to vocabulary, we can use to line the odd word out. So for pronunciation part, we can use the listen and pronounce, and find the differences between phonetical words, like between a and a, or the or s. So let's move into the next skills, reading and writing. A quick note: they are natural skills and they are acquired gradually. So reading, we can, pre-teach them vocabulary to give some understanding to young learners what texts they're going to read about. And for writing, we can use process and product writing. And we can also use technique like copying, drafting, and editing, and also a framework. And for our last skill, for grammar, we can use find out missing word or gap filling. That will do the best. So let's talk about final chapters. We need to keep in mind that many children have many learning abilities, like they can be visual learners or audio learners or kinesthetic learners. We need to keep variety of tasks in our mind, like audio task, visual task, or TPR task, to engage more children and give them a chance to shine. So, let's talk about the emotional state of this learning process. As we know, it's language learning is not robotic, and we need to give them, and children can be anxious or even depressed from learning process. We need to give them more and more support to show them that it's actually good to learn, and it's actually okay to make a mistake. So also we need to involve parents in their world. Parents need to keep in touch what children can learn, what they can't learn, and give them basic understanding what their child is. So also we need to talk about little cornerstone of this teaching. It's classroom management, of course. Classroom management is a valuable asset. We need to give them engaged. We need to give them in discipline, and also, so basically, we need to maintain all the process in teaching to give them more and more valuable information to children. So what about the resources? It's basically realia, toys, real life objects to use in your lesson. Basically, we know if they are young children and they need something to entertain them, and like balls, dolls, it could be very useful asset in your teaching. So let's talk about the assessment. We need to give them a little bit understanding that evaluation is not a punishment, but part of the learning process. We need to give them clear encouraging feedback, and we need to give them help to set their goals and self-evaluation process. So that's all. That's all things that I want to talk about in my video. I hope you liked it. This course was such a fun and valuable, informative experience for me. I liked it overall. So thanks for watching. Bye.